Hi, my name is Colette Rabba, and I'm with Orion Realty. I'm a residential real estate broker in the GTA West, an income property specialist, and an investor myself. The reason why Araceli and I like to do this show is because we're both investors and we love to give great information to viewers and listeners just like you.
Welcome everyone. This is Araceli, Transition Wealth Advisor and Real Estate Investor in the US and Canada. And today we have Colette, our weekly chat. Very interesting. Colette, can you introduce yourself and tell us what we're talking about today?
Yeah, hi everybody. My name is Colette Rabba. I am a residential real estate broker in the GTA and also a vacation property owner and investor. And I always get all mixed up because you have so many great things behind you and I'm like, okay, I have to remember to say this, I have to remember to say that. So yes, I'm also an investor. That's why we love doing the show. Araceli always have lots to talk about. We love talking about real estate. We know you guys love hearing about it and learning, and maybe there's something something new that you'd like to know. So please always comment, contact us. We'd love to hear your questions so we can answer them for you, because if you have the question, lots of other people have those questions too, right?
Absolutely.
So what do we got today?
Today's topic: what are the things that you need to consider when buying a vacation property? A lot of people here in Canada, especially now, they're trying to go away, especially for the winter time. So that takes us into the first thing that you need to consider. How are you going to be using the property?
Yes,
that's something that you're going to be using for yourself only, or are you planning to rent it for a portion of the time?
Right. Well, guess what I did? I did a little bit of both. I wanted to enjoy the property. I decided to buy in Ontario, stay in Ontario. I actually bought in beautiful Prince Edward County. Number one, because I love it there. And number two, I know lots of other people love it there, and it will incredibly bring me extra income. So this is the thing. It's up to you. What do you want to use the property for? If you just want it for income, you can do it just that. If you want to enjoy it some of the times too, or if you just want to enjoy it for your family, that's totally up to you. You have to figure out what that is for you though.
Exactly. So, sometimes you have people that have very large families, and what they want to do is they say, let's say there's 4 brothers and sisters, right? Now they want to buy the property together, and they split it in equal portions of times. So you're not going to be renting that property, but then you have a place to go for 2 months, 3 months, depending on how many people are involved in the property. And then, of course, it's not going to generate any income, but you have somewhere to go. So that's what is very important, to figure out what the use is going to be, who's going to be there, are you going to enjoy it? Because some properties, like, I invested in the US, believe me, they're not going to be my vacation property because the weather is the same here. But you know what? Sometimes I just spend there, 2-3 weeks, and I have somewhere to go.
That's right. That's right. So that brings us to number 2, which is location. So location, obviously, this is why we talked about number 1 first, because you have to figure out what location works best for you. Yeah. I would love to buy a property in Florida, but Florida, as you know, is a very large state, and it's not exactly the same in Orlando as it is in the Keys, let's say, or in Miami. So you really have to figure out what your location is. Even in Canada, even in Ontario, if you want a vacation property, you have to see what's a place where people go. If you don't know, you have to find that out. And also, when it comes to location, if you are going to expect income coming out of it, you have to see how many other places are like that in the area. Because sometimes if you move into an area or you buy in a certain area and it's totally oversaturated, and there's no way that there are other people that are still, looking at the property to rent, you might lose your whole season just based on that. So you really have to figure out what is the saturation of the area and if it's still possible to make money in that area.
Exactly. And also you want to be obviously not in a super saturated area, but at the same time you don't want to be right in the boonies that nobody wants to go there. right?
Right. Who's going to go? Who's going to visit you? Or who's going to rent the property? That's right. So number 3, you want to take this one?
Yeah, is, well, how long is the season? Which is kind of tied into that. Like, you know, some places they have a very large summer, so that if the weather is good and that there's activities. But other places like here in Canada, especially in this area in Toronto, we get a very long winter. So you have only 2 or 3 months that people actually will rent that place. However, there's other places that are basically just for the winter time. And they have really a lot of activities like, you know, snowshoeing and, you know, skiing, all of that kind of stuff. So you need to figure out what that is. If it is for the winter, a winter property, then that would be perfect if there's more winter, right?
Right, absolutely. If people like to go ice fishing, then, you know, your location might change because of that. So yeah, that has a lot to do with it. Also, the interesting thing about, let's say, Florida, for example, which a lot of Canadians go to, it's quite a short season too. They don't have, like in the summer, it's way too hot, it's way too humid. People don't like spending the whole time there. So don't think, oh, just because I'm buying in Florida, it's hot all the time, that you're going to have, you know, 24/7, 365 renters.
Yeah,
you might have a big lull. Yeah.
And the thing is, it actually might conflict, because if they have a very short season, you may want to be there for that short season, and then who's going to rent it after that? Is there a demand for renting during the off season?
Exactly, right. So that's, you know, again, goes back to location, goes back to how you want to use the property for your own use, or if you want to do a combination, or only income. So you have to do those numbers. It's very important. Okay, what are we on? Number 4. Number 4.
That is property management and all the bylaws, you know, government regulations. This is very important because now with Airbnb, certain areas or certain properties won't allow you to do that.
Right, especially condos. If you want to buy a condo, the condo board might not allow a short-term rental or a vacation rental. So you really have to do that research before you buy in it, not just the area, but also in a building or in the, in the States, they always call it something, I forget, where it's a neighborhood.
Like the condominium, or
not just a condominium, but like if you have like a private gated community, that they have bylaws like a condo. HOA, homeowners association. Okay. Sorry, I know it's not a Canadian term, not a lot of people use it. But HOA stands for Homeowners Association. So they might have bylaws, even if it's a freehold home. They might have something.
Especially if they're gated. And if they do something for you on the outside, most likely they will have some type of rules. In some cases, they go as far as telling you what you could do outside, like colors, anything like that you can alter the property. They might not allow it. So also, you know, it depends. If you're thinking that you're going to be renting it and then you buy it and you realize that it's not going to be possible, then it just is not going to be worth it. So that's what is really, really important, to do that research ahead of time.
Right. And the other
property management, right? Like, how much is that going to cost you?
Right, exactly. I was just going to say that. So when you're looking at a property and you think, okay, I'm not close to the property, even 2 hours away from your home, let's say, where, you know, I'm not living in a vacation property town. I, you know, purposely bought a little bit further away so I could have beautiful views and lakes and things like that. And I want to get out of the city. So when you look at property management and you think, okay, I can rent it for this much money, and then you think, okay, the property management is going to take a percentage of that, plus your government is going to take a portion of your sales, or because they need permits and all that costs money. You have to really do your research and do your numbers. And the best way to do that is to hire a local realtor. They should know all this stuff. If they don't, hire someone else. That's just the one easy stop shop that you can do with the realtor first, when you know what area you want to be in. Number 5 is my favorite.
For sure. You need to go and visit the place. Because, you know, I've heard a lot about Panama and Costa Rica and all of these exotic places. And you know, I'm not saying that the weather might not be good, but it might not be the location that you're actually expecting. So you have to really understand how you're going to get there. First of all, if there's a plane close by, maybe you have to travel 3-4 hours after you get off the plane. You may not want to do that, right? Are the roads okay to get there, right?
But not just that, also, does a are there property managers in the area? They might not physically exist where you want to be. If you want to go out in the bush somewhere in Australia, they might not exist. But also, more importantly, is the weather. Because if let's just say you find a beautiful place in Costa Rica, the weather might be really terrible when the times that you need to rent it.
Yeah.
And you have no control over that. So if you physically go when you think that this is the season to rent it, physically go, check it out, learn where the local shops are, who the local people are. That's the best advice I can give anyone, because that will make or break. You can see who the neighbors are, you can see who's walking around, you can see if it's a safe neighborhood. There's so many things about physically checking out the location before you even think about buying.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of people claim that, oh, you can do everything remote. You can do many things remotely right now, but not everything. That's what real estate is, real, right? You got to be there, you got to touch it.
Right.
Because you never know. I've seen many pictures. I've seen hundreds of properties. And when you look at it on paper, it looks pretty good. But when you actually go there, nothing like you see in the pictures. Pictures could be altered. Pictures could be, depending on the angle, might not show what it actually is there. So always look. And the neighborhood, you'll never get a sense of the neighborhood until you're there.
Right. You don't know.
Yeah.
That's right. You don't know if there's a factory like a street away, or if there's noise. That's the one big thing for me. If I buy property and I'm going on vacation and I want to spend time, it has to be quiet. I'm not one of those vacationers who wants to go to a big city. I don't want to go to Miami to vacation. Yeah. I want quiet. I want beach. I want silence. Crickets are even too loud. So unless you go and physically check out the location, you never know. You don't know what's going on. Maybe the whole neighborhood's being, under construction. There's a huge build. That's going to be years and years of noise. So check it out. And that's the most fun. Check it out. Go yourself.
Absolutely.
Why not?
Absolutely. So that's awesome. So if you were thinking about buying a property, remember these 5 things. First of all, decide if it's for personal or for income producing property. The second one is to have the location. And not only that, but the saturation on if it's for a rental. When is it going to be that it's part and parcel, right? How long is the season?
Right.
If you're going to be renting 2 months or versus, the whole year, it could be, right? And the next one is property management and bylaws. What are you allowed or not allowed to do? And the last one, and the fun part, is visit it yourself, walk around, go around, see how you're going to get to the property, what's there, and see your neighbors and talk about it and find out if it is a good location.
Yeah, and you know what? A lot of the times with location, it's about the people that are around, the shops that are around, the neighbors that are around. If you luck out and you get wonderful neighbors and you get, wonderful little shopkeepers that that they're there for the people that are coming every season. That's what you want. That ideally, you want it easy. You want to make it nice and easy and no, hardship on how do I do this. Do your research. It's so fun. Go to lots of locations, figure out where you want to be, and take notes. And that way, when you go back home and you say, okay, yes, I like this street. No, I didn't like this street. Yes, I like this location. It's going to make everything so much easier.
Absolutely. Well, thanks, Colette, for putting some of these together. And I hope that if we have missed anything that on buying a vacation property, let us know. We can make another episode about it.
Absolutely. And we're so excited for you. Just go ahead. Go buy something. It's fantastic. It's really fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Colette. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us today. If you'd like more information or if you have any questions, please go to my website at www.coletterabba.com.